Hey everyone, welcome to Tuesday Night Show and Share. We're here every week showing off projects we're working on, something that we've made, something that we're totally stuck on, or something that we've completely messed up. We have a couple things to show off tonight, and we're going to start with Sue, who is showing off pants.
So I don't know about you all, but I can't always find pants that fit. I have several gathered at the waist pants, but they don't stay up at my waist like they should. They kind of sag down low. So I thought, okay, I have these shorts that I really like. They stay up where they're supposed to. So I am going to make a pattern out of them. What you're seeing on the picture is the foam board that you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot. It's a 2 foot by 2 foot piece, along with a piece of tissue paper, and then the pair of shorts. And as you can see, I put little pins all in the seam, all the way around. So it's really a porcupine. Once you take that off, you can then connect the dots, which you can't really see there because it's on the purple board. So I moved it over to the white board, and I could see it much better. You can maybe see the lines. I connected the dots, right? Connect a dot. I still wasn't happy with it, but couldn't find any of my regular marking pins that wouldn't totally destroy the tissue and go through. Here's where I was doing the same with the back. Not as much detail on the back, but I'll have to say that I felt like I was sticking my head in a big bag as I was trying to get the pins down where they should go. It was really, really an adventure there. So I got that all done. And then I started to sew. But what I wanted to do first off is to share with you the end and see if you can take up the challenge. So what I have is the waistband with the pocket, right? So you got the pocket, here's the elastic, thread the elastic through the waistband. That's the challenge. What I found the problem was where the pocket was at, I couldn't get the safety pin in between the two pocket pieces. And then when I got to the side seam, it was really difficult. So I'm going to pass this around. The reward of knowing you can do it. Yeah. Yes. So I got that going around. Okay. So now I had my shorts pattern. That's the white. And as you can see, or hopefully you can see, it isn't showing up really well there. You can see I finally got the marking pen so I could actually see the lines better. What you see here is I wanted very wide-legged pants, and I didn't trust the pattern that those wide-legged pants were to fit around my waist. So I put those on top of my shorts just to get the leg pattern. And so this is the length. This fabric, by the way, was a donation to the space some time ago. And this is the other side, again, going down the length. I like making a little template because I'm not real good at estimating how the seam should go around the zipper. So I used tissue. Yeah, you can see that. And I put it on a piece of poster board or a thicker cardboard, and then I cut out on that red line and then clip it to my fabric, and I can stitch right next to that red line. That saves me from having to draw it with chalk or anything else. No marking needed. So that was one other piece I did. Next up, after I got the pockets all installed, and they were a challenge of their own, because I had no pattern to read and go by. I was having to kind of fit it as I went. I'm proud to say I didn't have to rip anything out and put it back the other way. So that was a bonus. But then I went on to the elastic. So I wanted to share an elastic trick that I had caught on YouTube, and I really like it. A lot of people will take the elastic and put over each other and then sew together. Well, that leaves a really thick spot. And I don't like doing that. What I found on YouTube was to just take a piece of regular cloth, a small piece, butt your two pieces of elastic up to each other, and then sew back and forth. And as you can see, I don't always use pins. I like hair clips. They don't put holes in the fabric. And when the elastic is thicker, it holds, where pins would have a really hard time staying there.
Can I restate what I think you just described?
Sure.
You were trying to avoid a junction like this with
An
two layers
overlap.
by making an end-to-end.
Yes,
Okay.
you got it. And zigzag in the middle, back and forth, right? And then you can cut off the extra.
If I was welding, I would have called that a butt weld, and I guess,
Woodworking, it'd be a butt joint.
well,
Right,
yes,
right.
and instead of stitching, it would have been, arc welding and flux and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know how far the elastic band has made it and how many people have taken up on the challenge. Nice, nice. I did actually do it with the help of some tools, right? Yeah, you use what you got. So I took these two tools and I slid into the casing, and then I pried them apart, right? Now I could take my safety pin from the other side and get in between there. And I got it. The next day, I was watching a YouTube video on sewing, and she had this ingenious idea, and you'll see it with the white stitching. As you have your seam, baste it down with a different colored thread, so that holds it for you, so the safety pin will go through and you can't get underneath it. It's like, duh. Such a great idea. Too bad I didn't see that before I struggled with trying to get the elastic band in. But it did work after all. I also want to show the popsicle stick. It's one of my favorite tools. So when you get to a really thick seam and it won't work for jeans, but if you get a lot of layers, and Amy, you're feeling how thick that seam is, right? Your sewing machine foot gets to it, and then it just doesn't want to go anymore. So if you put this underneath the foot on the back side, it raises that foot up, so it thinks it's just going flat. Fooled it. And you can just sew right on and then down the other side. So popsicle sticks, don't throw them away. You might need one day. End product is a pair of pants that I'm wearing tonight. How far down can you get with the camera, Billy?
Not that far, you gotta be over here.
I was gonna show the leg.
You gotta be over here.
Oh man, I gotta put my leg up again. Right there? Ta-da! For those in the back?
Are you gonna circulate those around?
Bum, 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 ba-da-ba. Walk near me closer to the end of the show.
Do they stay?
Yes, they stay up where they're supposed to. Not like my other purchased ones that like to ride, under the belly. I'll put it that way. Yes. Yes, Duskin.
I like the fabric you chose.
I chose it. Actually, it was given. It was donated to the shop many years ago. Thank you, Tony. You had found it at a yard sale somewhere and brought it in. And I went, I want to make wide-legged pants with those. And it's taken me this long to get there. But I got there. Yes, Amy?
How get all the stripes to be straight and like match each other in different panels?
Well, luck. I'll be honest, it was just silly, goofus luck. I thought that would be a cool idea after I cut the little pocket insert out of this side, that this side seems to line up better than this side. But yeah, it came out really nice. And I think that might be the beauty of the smaller stripes. You can get off a little bit and they'll still look like they look. Anybody else? All right, thank you so much.
Lots of great tips. Thank you, Sue. Next up, we have Andrew, who is showing a seahorse.
Let's get wide. Perfect. Yeah, so during the Makers Fair things, since everybody's already out there, I figure I have a pseudo-captive audience. So we do blacksmithing demos because, you know, why not? Anyway, Daryl and I talked about what we were going to do like for a couple weeks and had no solid ideas. And so at like, I don't know, 5 minutes before we started, I was like, let's do a seahorse. So that's what this guy is. Daryl and I collaborated on this. Not a lot to talk about really, but we basically forged out the snout and the head and then bent it on over there. Did a little bit of work on getting the belly pushed out. The fin or wing or whatever you want to call it is riveted on there. So on the back side you can see my rivet wasn't anywhere near hot enough, so when you collaborate on stuff like that and have no design or plan or whatever, you kind of go with what you got. But we could always cut it back if we needed to, but I think it looks pretty swell just like how it is. So
You just wanted to make me hammer more.
that's true.
Who worked on which part?
I just needed a distraction. I did most of the body, and Daryl did most of the fin. Yeah. Yes, sir.
The market was 5 hours. Did it take you all 5 hours to do it?
No, it was real hot out there by the time we got done, and that was maybe an hour. It took about an hour, right? Like,
I mean, with time, it's a little more.
yeah.
That's what needs to stop the conversation.
That's true. We did have to explain, which was kind of the whole point, right? So we were just talking as we went, which we could have worked faster as a result, but it's okay. Is that it? Cool. All right. Pass this around. It's a little heavy. It's not sharp though, so if you cut yourself, that's
Thank you, Andrew. Last on our list, we have Adam, who's showing us Wedding Part 2.
And you're still married, so that's good.
I mean, we've only almost killed each other once, but in my defense, we were 50 feet underwater and got lost, so. Okay, so I lied a little bit. I originally said this was going to be like a 3-part series, and then I forgot that we're going to be out of the country next week, so I'm going to try and cram 2 parts in real quick together. So, we'll start with the easier one. For backstory, for people who weren't here last week, we got married 2 weeks ago, week and a half, something like that.
2 weekends ago.
And in true moron fashion, I decided I was going to make everything for the wedding because there wasn't enough stress involved in a wedding. Today I'm going to be showing off some signs we made for the wedding, as well as a cake topper that we went round and round and round with. No, sadly it's not a lathe. It was laser cut acrylic, but it was laser cut acrylic that I kept screwing up. So I'm going to show the signs off here. I can pass them around if you want, but they're signs. I mean. For the wedding, we did a kind of like a fantasy. We're both kind of fantasy book nerds. So she's super into Lord of the Rings, Dragon Age is a video game series, but still same thing. I like the Cosmere, Brandon Sanderson, Wheel of Time, that kind of stuff. So a lot of our signs had a fantasy theme to them. So here we have the choose a seat, not a side, with the Tree of Gondor on it. All right, we've got the wedding was outdoors, so we had water for everyone. And so this was a sign for the put on top of the water. This is from Wheel of Time. It is one of the sayings of the Aiel, and that's the chapter header at the top. And it does stand on its own, so that's nice. We have this one, which if anybody wants to scan this, you're welcome to. It goes to our honeymoon donation fund, so I mean, I'll go ahead and plug that one there. But yeah, had this one set up on the food table. I think a whole 2 people scanned it. And then finally, for the actual outside the wedding itself, this is big, so I may not be able to fit it. I'm just going to go over here to the side with it. So this is I'll hit you in the face with it. So it's welcome. This is an unplugged ceremony. Please turn off all devices and be here in the moment with us. So no phones, no cameras, no One Ring of Power. What's that? This one? Oh, the Lord of the Rings, the One Ring. So I'm super proud of that graphic. Okay, so that concludes the signs, and then for the cake topper. Yeah, go ahead. That is vinyl. So it's laser cut acrylic for the sign itself, and some of them I laid on the edge of a shelf and took a heat gun to bend them. And then this is just vinyl, fresh off of the vinyl cutter right out there. So I picked up a roll of Cricut white removable vinyl with the idea that I could peel these off and reuse these acrylics if I want to. But yeah, just all vinyl.
Your QR code, it says you need to choose a plan to reactivate.
No. All right. Well, I'll post a link to our donation page. Then. Oh well. I mean, we take cash, Venmo, PayPal. Okay. So as for the cake topper, we went a similar direction with the cake topper, in that we were going to do laser cut acrylic, and I was originally going to do. The plan was to cut the acrylic and leave the protective paper on, and use that as a mask for spray paint. And then take some acrylic paint or something and just smush it down into the holes where the laser etched away. So we have a few different versions where I tried that. Here's version 1. I'm going to move this out of the way so we can see it a little bit, well, worse.
Use the black.
Yeah, I'll use the back of the...
No, use
Oh, look, right here. Look, we got a heart. Look at that. All right. So if anybody's wondering why there's all these cutouts of acrylic that look like Mickey Mouse, that's why all of those were over there. So first version, white spray paint, and we used some blue paint, pushed it down into the cuts, and it actually worked pretty well, except for the part where it didn't fill in the inside of any of the letters. As for the design itself, this is kind of our two nerdnesses coming together. On the top left here, we have the sunburst from the Chantry in Dragon Age. We have the symbol of the Knights Radiant from the Stormlight Archive. The wheel is from the serpent is from the Wheel of Time, and then of course we have the ring inscription around that, and then W is our last initial. So this was the first version. The stick was too long, the top part was too small, and the print didn't come out real good. So then I grabbed some fresh acrylic off of the shelf and realized we had 2 colors of acrylic. So this is the story of why I bought an extra sheet of black acrylic, because I didn't even know we had it. So this is the next version, resized it a little bit, got a little bit better effect. She hand painted in the letters with the gray, and I think this one came out, let's move to the white background. This one came out pretty good, but still wasn't quite what we were going for.
Are you going to show all of them?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's all right, the next ones are quick. So we'll go rapid through the next versions. Here is the third to last version. This one came out like crap, obviously. So we won't even look at that one. We're going to pretend it doesn't exist. This one, we're starting to get where we're going. It's not focused real well, but we have our wedding colors were silver and navy blue. So we have kind of the dark blue in the serpent and the logos. And I tried to put some silver acrylic down in here, and no matter how much acrylic I put down in the hole, it kept drying flat and didn't fill in properly.
It was resin.
Or was it resin?
Yeah.
Resin. And then it had the added bonus of when I tried to clean it up, it just smeared the silver pigment all over everything. So here's where I started getting crazy. So here we've got the same thing. It's the blue. I originally we tried to do the laser engraving again and fill it in with white epoxy that we pigmented silver. That didn't work real well. So then I had the idea of, well, we're making all these other signs out of vinyl. Why don't I try vinyl? So I cut something out of some scrap red, and it seemed to work all right. And so that's where we end up with the final version, which is in an envelope so that I don't screw it up. So let's see if we can get the light to hit it properly. So we've got this is the version that was actually stuffed into our cake. Probably wasn't food safe, but that's okay. We'll deal with that cancer in 20 to 30 years. So we've got the silver foil on the symbols and the W, the navy blue vinyl on the serpent, and then we have this flame-colored foil for the ring text. And this is the version I think we were really happy with how it came out. So we ended up going with the vinyl instead of laser engraving and acrylic filling it. And I was pretty happy with that.
Did you cut the foil on the vinyl?
Yeah, it's the same, comes on a roll like the vinyl. It's Cricut brand and everything. It's designed for cutting in vinyl cutters. But yeah. So I'll be happy to pass these around. Yeah, the one that's shiny, try to keep separate if you can. Look at the failures and the success, and then anybody else want to? Let me send that.
work, remember?
I know. Oh yeah, I've got to fix it. Okay. All right, that's it.
So a lot of the graphics appear to be very intricate. Who did the weeding? Because I can
I
imagine.
did. It took me 3 hours, sitting there on that ancient like constructed light box we have out there, like leaning over it with my back exploding, with a little needle just peeling all the little pieces of vinyl out. And then occasionally one would peel up too much, and I'd have to sit down there with the tweezers and get it positioned back. Yeah.
The right curve and, oh man.
Here, I'll take this.
Yep.
All for love.
Yep. All right. Cool.
Well, congratulations again, and have fun on your vacation. We have an announcement from Aliki.
Howdy, everybody. So, I'm just going to, nope, wrong way. Try to make
Where was that?
So I don't know if any of you guys heard, like for real, on Sunday, there were like a handful of us here with about another 522 attendees or so that followed us. So, and that clapping is for all of you. We put on one heck of a show, guys. So we had, at first, we thought we were gonna have 45 vendors. But you know what? 6 of those vendors just weren't able to make it for whatever reason. And the ones that did come out, we had some inclement weather at the beginning, some illnesses, but we were able to house 38 tents, booths, countless amazing crafts where I looked at every single booth, and the majority of every single person was selling handcrafted items. Not 100%, but the vast majority of what they were selling was what they had made. We had a wonderful response from all of our crafters, our food trucks. We had 3 very happy food trucks. And I don't know about you guys, but I ate a lot of food from the food trucks. A lot of sweetie, lovely things, and lemon shaved ice is now my favorite thing ever. So all of you did such a wonderful job. Anybody that participated in making the market successful in any small way, all the way up to big ways. Some of you brought your family members. I know I brought my family members to help out and participate or shop. It was such a wonderful event, and it really is a testament to how awesome this place is. A lot of the friends that I had brought with me, and you guys know I didn't originate from here, so my folks are all from work. And I work at a bank, and it's, you know, kind of a weird topic to talk about making at a bank, but nothing but wonderful news and really perspectives about how their perception of the shop was, the fact that we had so many wonderful tools. One of the gentlemen actually said that he had been to 2 other maker spaces. Are there 2 other maker spaces in town? I didn't know that, but he had been something in Oak Ridge and something downtown. That's what he said, but that this by far was the most built up and established shop he had ever really heard of or been to. So I take all of that feedback very personally, and I'm very proud of all of us. We did an awesome job, guys. This is for you. And not to get jumping too soon on the next one, but October 1st is right around the corner. So what I want each of you to do is to help me understand anything that you saw that could be made better. All constructive criticism. There are no wrong answers. There are no wrong ideas. But the best way to be prepared for the next one, because we're going to do this twice a year, guys. It's going to be a machine at this point. I want to know what we can do. I already have a list started, and the easiest way is to reach out to me, of course, after here. I'll be here. I'm usually here on Tuesdays. Or reach out to me on Matters Most. I'm Greekly Aliki, and I would love to make sure that each one of your ideas is put up on the board, and we make all of our events going forward just as amazing as this last one was. And because I have a feeling he might be watching, a very special thank you to David Nelson, our fairy godfather of our show. As somebody I think mentioned in one of the chats, the ghost of his spirit was haunting the event the entire time. And I know that I said his name at least a half dozen times. So thank you to everybody, and inclusive of our friend David. So outside of that, that's all I got.
Super extra thanks to you, Aliki, for so much. Yep. I think something that people don't think about these kinds of events is that the day of is super fun, and everyone relaxes and they get to hang out and they laugh a lot together. The parts beforehand is not very fun, like calling vendors and emailing and collecting payments and then poking people because they haven't paid, and calling another vendor and then calling a food truck at the last minute. Aliki's amazing.
I didn't call any.
Okay, well, fine, but still. You did a lot of the not fun stuff, so thank you, Aliki. We have more stuff. We always have stuff going on here. So coming up this week, we have a blacksmithing class, a blacksmithing authorization class on Thursday, where you too can learn how to make a seahorse in 5 hours. We have a Stitch and Bitch on Saturday, so that's just a sort of a hangout time in the fiber arts area. Bring your own project, sit, chit-chat, work on your stuff. If you need help with something, you can get that too, or it's just like hanging out and working on your projects. It's super fun. And then next Tuesday, after Show and Share, is a new member onboarding. So anyone who's interested in membership or is a trial member, this is required in order to get your key at the end of your trial membership. So that's next Tuesday after Show and Share's new member onboarding. Tonight, if we could get someone to volunteer to take the trash out. Yes. And one filter needs changing. I looked at them. They were done recently, but that front filter needs changing if anyone wants to volunteer for that. Thank you, Daryl. And other than that, go out and have fun. Yes?
Can I make a real quick announcement?
Yes.
I posted a couple of weeks ago that my sister was dropping a persimmon tree.
Mm.
I've got several pieces so big around and this long. More than the 2 people who want some of it returning. If somebody else wants
Persimmon wood. Excellent. Other than that, go have fun. If it's your first time here and you want a tour, or if you have questions about membership, talk to someone with a red badge. Otherwise, go make cool stuff. Thanks.